Alright. Alright. Welcome back to Even Given the Worthless Appraiser class, I'm actually strongest. Anime Review, episode number 8. We are reviewing episode 11, The Demon Ioana. So, in this episode, we started up with two demons, basically discussing about talking about Shadow being defeated in the previous episode, and of course, Falco, which I remember mentioning in the episode. And then, of course, Ioana shows she's a high-level demon. She's a duke, apparently. And she kills the bird demon, and tells the wolf one, like, oh, maybe make my new toy. And her toy is basically a guy who has no hair, his eyes sewn shut, and his mouth with a ball gag, like he's basically doing S&M. It's an adult thing. Why he has eyes closed? Don't know why. It's like, yeah, and of course rides her like she's basically he's like his own person. We go, and then runs to Echidna, who's also a World Tree Spirit, supposedly evil one. Why she's like this? Don't know. And then, of course, she's tasked by her to, eliminate In, because basically he's a threat to her for some reason. She's like reunited sisters. So, like, oh yeah, I know we're heading next. Basically, this one area where it's actually one of her sisters. So then, of course, basically you have Yuri in. Yeah, you have Yuri basically just and of course Pina coming like, oh, Alice like, oh, she's gonna confess? No, she basically informed it where May is, and then here comes basically one of her sisters, not May. Oh no, it's Kush, who's got a mask over her eye because it's an evil eye, and it's not her actual body. And of course, basically they're very happy to see her. She's the second oldest of all the sisters, and this is very familiar to me. You have, okay, so the whole thing of this whole series is looking for the sisters, and two of them are just right next to each other. Yeah, they mentioned basically that May's guardian somehow died years prior to the series, so she took over because she's independent, because she's one of the oldest ones. And I saw this, I'm like, this looks familiar. Yes, the similar type of plot idea was used in my smartphone, where two of the Babylons, because I recently watched the dub for it, toward the end of the season, two of the Babylon just happened to be hooked up with each other at some point during prior to events of the series, and they hooked up with each other. Of course, you got two Babylons, price of one, which is really cool, and they, of course, right there, of course, all the monsters hide from them. By the way, Yuri's guardian is not in the episode. You hear her, but you don't physically see her. She's basically in Yuri's eye. So they go into the area where Kush is and May, and they press about a Hornet, which they easily beat the Hornet, and then they beat Echidna by basically Drain Touch and chopping her head off. Yes, the woman who was tasked with killing him. Yeah, I'm getting ready to go out to eat some. Basically, just finished. So then they find her, and they meet up with the real Kush, and then they meet May, who they describe her as the youngest of the sisters, and she's like as a cute little girl, and she's napping, and of course Sierra is like, yeah, she definitely is very cute little girl. Aaron basically just sees her, leaves her alone, and then he steps out to wake her up, and then she sees a scream. End of the episode. Great episode. And we're going to wrap this up next week. Yep. But, like I said, fantastic episode. And there's another one to wrap up next week. Like, wow. You're thinking, like, yeah, I'll occur my anime right now. Is wrap up next week. If you're curious how many, at least 6 are wrapping up next week. Yes, which is actually the most I've actually had wrap up in quite a while. Usually like 1 or 2, but never like this much in a period of a week. You have ReZero on Wednesday. Next Thursday, Dr. Stone, well, basically in core 1, not the season. This one, Friday, of course, being, next Friday being Welcome to Famous Elf. I may give such a soul boss clock on time. And The Red Ranger Adventure in Another World. That is 6 anime in a period of just a few days, which is awesome. Yeah, also lowered, basically kind of lowered the amount of episodes I have to review for a little while. Like Sunday be down to like 2 and Friday be down to 1, which kind of interesting. And Wednesday be free. The Monday be free for about a couple weeks, and then basically there's one anime joint. But don't worry, that won't basically be something. But I'm right up here because I'm gonna go out to eat now. And when I get back, I'm gonna go ahead and work on Walking to Japan myself. Okay, thanks, Phil. Bye.